guess it's time again for Buddy Martin. Call him up and tell him what you're thinking, but be kind because he's doing the best he can.
Better, stronger, faster.
Mama says that alligators are because they got all them teeth but no toothbrush.
Hey, what if the voice calls while you're gone?
Take a message.
Bye.
You ready, champ? I've been ready for this my whole life.
I'm incapable of small talk. But that's why you love me, right?
Kind of intimidating to be in the presence of so many great athletes.
Good morning and welcome to the show that's so brand new we don't have a name for it yet, for crying out loud.
We don't have a name.
I think Brendan Martin may have come up with a name this morning as we're here in Studio 12 in Ocala, Florida. Glad to have you with us again today.
Why is
Second
it
straight
Studio
morning.
12 again?
Studio 12.
Studio 12. Morning.
It's
You
dilly dilly.
always have to start the appropriate
Wait a minute,
way.
hold it.
Dilly dilly.
This is a cut from my friend's restaurant in Atlanta where he works. Marietta Diner. It's a good place.
This is a good place. How we sounding out there? Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Center State Bank morning. Just want to say
Center
good
State
morning.
Bank Tuesday. I saw Tom Ingram watching last night. That's a good thing. Remember, Center State, centered on community and customer service. We'll be telling you about it all day long today. Thanks for tuning in today. Gosh, we've had a busy time. We had a late night dilly-dilly. Nice crowd last night. Also, our morning show now this morning called Martin and Martin in the Morning. So,
This morning. This particular morning.
yeah, that's what it's called. Tomorrow, maybe something else.
Something else.
Let me catch up on a couple things here. Chris Lowe's coming up in about 8 or 9 minutes. Chris Lowe is obviously one of the, I want to say, stately, more distinguished, accomplished writers and sometimes broadcasters on ESPN. He's in Tennessee. He's had a good relationship with people around the league, particularly at Florida, particularly back in the days when Steve Spurrier was at South Carolina and Florida. He knows the Tennessee program. He knows a lot about the SEC. This morning, the conversation is going to center somewhat on, if you have me a text right there.
What? Whoa.
We're going to talk.
Hot-
Yeah, there,
hot
hot off the
press.
presses. We're going to have like a ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, we do. It's right there.
Well, no, we're not doing that hard.
Yeah, it's right
no, I don't want to. Anyway, so here's the thing. Here's the context.
I got to get the horn.
Nick Saban's age, is it being used against him in recruiting? There's evidence that said indeed it is. So then, spring game attendance. I got the figures. What does it mean, if anything? I don't know. We make something out of it or we don't. It's kind of a head of steam deal. So, and then let's talk about the number of players in the SEC being drafted. This just in from Chris Lowe just a moment ago. 5 more Alabama football players are projected to go in the first or second rounds, which would be 42 first and second rounders for the Tide in the last NFL drafts. 42. Your buddy Nick Saban, you went on an elevator with him one time, so you know him personally, right? And you go on the elevator with him when you were up at SEC Media Days? You did.
I did.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
And you came back kind of thought he was a rock star. You'd think so. So other than Florida, Georgia, and LSU, that's more than anybody else in the SEC has produced in terms of draft picks. Okay, there you go. There's that. I want to say that tomorrow, which is, I keep getting my days off, Brendan, is World of Beer Wednesday. We will be at World of Beer. Our folks out there celebrating 5 years there at the Tioga location. 5
Really?
years. Yes, they are. So we'll be speaking with Brady tomorrow. Brady will be, I think he's secretly trying to hijack the show. I think he's now.
I heard Brady was running his mouth a little bit about me. Just talking.
I'm just saying.
Just had a few.
You didn't like my wine, and he said something about
wine,
you.
and something about using my kid as a.
Yeah.
Listen,
he's talking trash.
I grind it out. I'm behind the scenes. I'm like a ninja. Mm-hmm. I'm like a ninja.
Yeah.
And when I'm around, he doesn't even know what I'm doing to explode the kingdom. So just Ackerman, I
guess you're calling him out. We'll see you tomorrow. Go K Corral at World of Beer. Also, I want to correct myself. Last night I made a comment about 17 eligible quarterbacks for the graduate transfer program. Actually, it's a site called Graduate Transfer Tracker, and I read it wrong. It's actually have found new homes already. This list of people that I read off, I thought they were available. Not the case. My bad. So I made a mistake there. But we'll not go into that today. And then
what was your mistake?
I read something.
I like to document them. So
make them all the time.
You make so few.
Make them all the time. Just the fact that there's grad transfer story from SEC Country, really good job by them. Had 17 eligible quarterbacks. And I just read that part for the graduate transfer program. But the rest of the sentence says, have already found new homes. So I was reading names last night like Tucker Israel, Ryan Boyle, J.J. Cosentino, except to thinking they were available. Not the case. They are already committed. So just to correct that, and coming up in a couple of minutes, Chris Lowe will get with him about the top picks in the SEC. And, of course, where Florida stands, if they stand at all. We talked to France Beard last night. He seems to think that one guy, Taven Bryant, may make a first round. I have to wait and see. France has got pretty good instincts about that. We'll see. And then the story about Nick Saban's age. He'll be 67 this season. He's getting some of what Steve Spurrier got in his last couple of years at South Carolina. It's funny, when he got to be 70, suddenly he couldn't coach anymore, according to his critics. So that's what they do. Age is used against you. There's no doubt about it. Ageism is alive and well, and it doesn't matter except for one thing. That's when you're competing in somebody in recruiting. I have a birthday coming up this Saturday. My whole family's coming in.
21 again.
No, not 21. I'm going to confess. I actually hit 50 finally.
Finally
hit it, yeah. I had to get there before you did.
Well, I'm 24.
Yeah,
right.
Times two. Anyway, that's what's happening there. Hope you've enjoyed the program. We've enjoyed doing it for you.
Do you like the mornings?
Yeah, give us your thoughts. Before we get to that, let me just tell you about our good friends over at Center State Bank. Glad to see Tom Ingram was listening last night. Tom's got some news to announce soon, too. We have a show called Our Town. We had so many shows, which just comes up every Thursday. It's not about sports. And Tom was on that show a couple of weeks ago and drew a big crowd. All right, here's the deal.
State Bank.
I want to talk about it because it's my bank. It's more than just a bank to me. They've done a terrific job of championing the arts, and they have art gallery shows. They've had Bobby Goldsboro. They've had, let's see, who all the people they've had out there. They had Mel Tillis came out. A lot of artists. They do shows, and they've had weddings in their bank. They have big meetings. Our quarterback club meeting, check it out. I'm representing. It's held there every year. Our August meeting. This year we're hoping to have Coach Mullen's wife, Megan. Anyway, Center State Bank does more than just take your money and give you a check for it or deposit. Their core values are important because that's what they emphasize, and they live it. They don't talk it. They're local market driven, long term. Is a good when you're borrowing. You want to get that long term horizon, world class service. I can go into the bank, and pretty good chances, even a pain like me can get done for me whatever I need to get done about 98% of the time. And the 2% is usually my fault when it's not. So relationship banking, I can walk in. It isn't like a big box bank where I banked for years. I walked in there hundreds of times. Every time I was asked for an ID, no one knew my name, etc. It wasn't Cheers. They didn't know my name. And finally, Faith and Family. Located in around Florida, in the city near you probably. They have 82 locations in 30 Florida counties. Center State Bank, centered on community and customer service. It's Center State Bank Tuesday. Brendan, we're going to be calling Chris now.
Yes, sir.
All right. Notes and quotes and stuff. No 6 o'clock show for you folks who usually follow it today. And
we're dialing him.
Tomorrow we're going to be at the World of Beer. Doing our thing out there. We'll see what Brady's got cooked up. He's trying to hijack the show. He's got T-shirts made. Brady and Buddy. I believe we got on the line Mr. Chris Lowe from ESPN. Chris, how you doing?
Hey, buddy, how are you, man? Good to be with you.
Good to talk to you again. We haven't spoken in a while. Are you on the road today, or are you what you up to?
Yeah, just traveling about. No long-term travel, but on the road as we speak right now.
Yeah, so, Chris, just to maximize your time, by the way, Chris's article is always spot on. He's 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 a veteran scribe, which is a good thing, and he's a guy who knows how to report. That's a novelty. He actually knows how to report a story. I was thinking about this today because you're one of the best, because you're very careful, cautious, and deliberate, and you check your facts. And I know as a young reporter, I didn't always do that well. But I don't want to trash the reporters. What I want to do is I want to say, if I were going to give an award for somebody in the media who's most authentic reporter and one who had principles and courage and stood for the right things, and I'm giving an award today, tell me, other than present company, Chris Lowe, who should I give it to?
Boy, you put me on the spot, buddy.
I meant to.
There's so many good people in our business, and it's like anything else. I mean, I think sometimes, in our society we get caught up on people that don't do it right and don't accentuate those who do it right. I mean, I can think of, I'll give you one. One that comes to mind immediately, right there in your footprint, who I've known for a long time, who covered the Gators for a long time, Matt Hayes.
Matty Hayes worked for
Jacksonville for a long time, the Sporting News, now at Bleacher Report. He's done some excellent work. He's done it for a long time. He's a great reporter. He's a great writer. He knows college football. He's respected. He's earned the trust of a lot of people. So Matt would be right there at the top of my list.
All right. I know Matt well. Worked with him briefly in Jacksonville. And also, his famous name is Dick Tracy. You know why?
Why?
One time, in sort of a fit of anger at a noon luncheon, Matt had a story. I think it was on Jack Jackson receiver. I can't remember what it was. He done some reporting. And Coach Spurrier didn't take to it, kind of. He says, "Okay, Dick Tracy, tell us what you know about it." And he became Dick Tracy. But Matt's a good man. He does a good job. And
next time I talk to him, I'll refer. Yeah, well, I'll refer to him as Dick Tracy the next time I talk to him.
Hey, I have to tell you that we've all felt the needle of Steve Spurrier, right?
Oh, absolutely. If you know Steve and you've covered Steve, we've all gotten that call, that random call. Hey, I saw you looked, that's Wednesday. You need to go back and check this or ask. I mean, so yeah, we've all gotten that. Anybody who's covered it. But you know what? The thing I always appreciate, Steve, is he would call you. So some coaches would stew or would be mad about something, and you hear, secondhand or third hand. It felt like something was, if it was your opinion or your take or perspective, that was one thing. But if you felt something was wrong or inaccurate or incorrect, you'd hear from him. So I always appreciate that with Steve.
Well, try writing a book with him sometime.
And I know you have.
You got to get every comma right because you're going to screw something up. And I got used to it after a while. I finally said at our dinner, not to switch the subject, I just said, now I know how his quarterback call felt. So, felt the lash of Steve Spurrier. Let me get to some business. You had an interesting tweet a while ago. I don't know when you sent it up, but I just read it about Alabama going with the draft. We're going to get that subject. You say the Alabama football players are projected to go in the first, second rounds, which would be the 42nd, first and second rounders for the Tide in the last NFL drafts. Other than Florida, Georgia, and LSU, that's more than anybody else in the SEC that produced the team in terms of total draft picks. Now, I didn't quite understand that. You mean Florida has more than that?
No. Florida has produced more draft picks total, as has LSU, than Alabama has first and second round. But those are the only three schools in the league.
Oh,
everybody else in the league, if you take their total draft picks over that period, that 10-year period,
I got you.
They haven't produced as many total draft picks as Alabama has first and second round.
Okay. Now, I've got a list. I don't really do much. I'm not a big NFL draft guy, but I follow it because of the college players. And I've got a list of, it means nothing. I just got the 5 top draft picks from the SEC, and I'll randomly select them. You comment, tell me if I'm wrong, right, whatever. I've got Minkah Fitzpatrick, obviously, is my number one. Although Roquan Smith is very valued, of course, from Georgia. Minkah, of course, from Alabama. And Calvin Ridley, now the Alabama guy is going to go high. Maybe the Baltimore, we'll see. The Chargers have their eye on Deron Payne, according to this one fantasy draft I got from somewhere. I can't remember what it was. Might have been ESPN. And the Detroit Lions got like Darius Geis. those are the 5 I grouped together as the top 5. I don't know if there will be a Gator to make the top 10. Some of my friends believe Taven Bryant, top 20, top first round, think Taven Bryant might squeeze in. I'm not so sure about that. So tell me where I'm wrong and where I'm right.
Well, I'll tell you this. I'll defer to somebody who knows a lot more about football than I do, and that's Nick Saban. I'll tell you what he told me about Deron Payne. Now, Payne's not going to go first among those guys that you mentioned, but he told me last year when I was with him that Payne is as good an interior defensive lineman as he's had, period. As far as powerful and strength and being explosive, a guy that is just eats up blocks and just smothers ball carriers, can rush. I think he can play the nose. He can play in a 4-3 at tackle. I think Payne's going to be one of those guys, buddy, that plays for a long time and is as we all know, at any level of football, dominant defensive tackles are a commodity. And I think he's a guy, again, that will play a long time. The other guy that you mentioned in there, another Alabama guy, Minkah Fitzpatrick, can play anywhere in the secondary, nickel, safety, can play corner if he needs to. He's smart. Saban told me that he was about as good a guy he's had back there has been an extension of him and his defense since he's been in Alabama. A guy that's just productive. And, again, one of those guys who I think will play for a long, long time. So of those 5 guys that you mentioned, and they're all great players, they're all going to get drafted high, it'd be hard for me as an NFL GM to pass on either of those 2.
Okay. Let's talk for a minute about Taven Bryant. I know you didn't see him a lot, but he's a guy who seemed to have had a great pro tryout, and they liked him a lot. His size, he's the one who said we all look like Pillsbury Doughboys, meaning that the program under McElwain was not really good when it came to poundage. And Nick Savage has gotten in and straightened that up. And I think Taven Bryant was saying what a difference it makes to have strength and not have so much flab, which is a bit of an indictment on McElwain's program. Anyway, he's a guy they say he plays low, which is important on a defensive lineman. He's good size, not oversized. He plays with what Dan Mullen calls relentless effort, and he's pretty smart. So he's a guy that could sneak in there somewhere. Some are saying, what say ye about Taven Bryant?
Well, I think again, you start talking about defensive linemen, and sometimes in the NFL, guys, and I've talked to coaches about that. NFL people overthink things, and the tape and how a kid's played sometimes, is not as important as projection and how he tests. You're right. Brian's a guy that I think helped himself without question in testing sessions and those what I call the off-season Olympics, right? But he's also a guy who's pretty productive. You go back to, he's in his first 2 years, he was sort of hard to figure out who he was or what he was, but as a junior in 2017, he had his best year. And so I think probably he will be one of those guys that the NFL people look at and say his best football is ahead of him. We've seen just a glimpse, just a taste of what he can do. He's athletic, he's big, 6'4", pushing 300 pounds. We're going to draft him because we think that going forward he'll be a lot better football player than maybe he's been to this point.
All right, a couple more for Chris Lowe from ESPN, our special guest. Thanks for joining us on the program. Catch you every now and then on Feinbaum. Of course, read your articles on ESPN and, of course, on the mothership as well. Let's talk about Nick Saban. I know you know him pretty well. You've had pretty good conversations, relationship with him. What happened? I don't know, but I'm told he had a hot mic situation where he made some comment about Tua. About Hurts pulling the ball down, running it. He'd been there 2 years. I didn't hear it, but I'm told it's what he did. Then he comes out the next day with a statement saying he was not disappointed by the performance of quarterback Jalen Hurts, who threw for 195 yards, no touchdown, and 1 interception during Crimson Tide spring game. Now, that looks like CYA to me, as far as I can tell. Why would a coach come out and say, I was not disappointed?
Well, first of all, I can promise you that Jalen hurt a lot worse, face to face and meetings from Nick Saban and his quarterbacks coach than anything that was uttered on a hot mic. I think that's Saban. Saban, like a lot of coaches, wants to control everything. And, if he's got something to say to a player or players that is constructive or critical, he's going to say it to them face to face. Could you imagine if you had a hot mic on every coach and every scrimmage? Our old buddy, the head ball coach, you talk about a guy who was hard on quarterbacks. This is when you look at that Hurts talking about a situation, buddy, that's a delicate situation. I mean, no coach wants to lose one of those guys, but it's probably inevitable that one of them will transfer, the guy that doesn't win the job. But you certainly want to hold on to those guys as long as you can. A little bit of a weird deal this spring because Tua got hurt, so he didn't play a lot this spring, didn't play in the spring game. So they'll go through the summer. As you know, the summer is a really important time for quarterbacks to develop chemistry and continuity with your receivers and establish yourself as a leader. It's just an odd deal that you've got an incumbent that's 26-2 as a starter, which Hurts is, and most people in and around that program think he's not going to win the job. But what Nick says right. I mean, he's got to be better at throwing the football from the pocket and being more patient. Fitting the ball in windows, not taking off and running. I mean, that's where he's got to progress, and probably didn't progress as much as he needed to last year in that area. But if he's going to be their starter this year, he's got to do that. But it's not like he's not been on that stage. And it's not like he's just going to go quietly into the night. I think this competition will make them both better, and ultimately will make Alabama better. Now, will they both be there come November next year during the season? Probably not. The guy that wins the job is, but you still sort of have to compete and see how it all plays out.
Right. Well, the whole quarterback situation is weird. Right now anymore. We won't know really till August who's transferring, who's not. Florida's already lost one in Allen, lost two players totally, and it's a scramble. It's a leverage you're getting. That's the comments made by Jalen Hurts' dad, obviously, whatever. And here's the thing: I don't blame the kids a bit. If they can go somewhere and play 3 years, 2 years, go ahead and do it. It isn't like you can come back when you're 30 and do this. So it's okay. But it has gotten a little crazy, I will say. And here's the thing. This combined with recruiting. Now you have your recruiting class, and then you have the graduate transfers. And someone wrote this article of the day. I think it's called Graduate Transfers. Let's see what this article is. Hold on a second. They said there were 17 different ones who opted for the graduate transfer program. Grad Transfer Tracker already found 17 new homes for quarterbacks. So this is something that's obviously going to be in. This is part of the deal in recruiting now. Where will they go next? So my question is, in terms of the recruiting, it really never stops. It even stops in the off season. Now we get to this issue. It's been documented that recruits said that at least two coaches are using Nick Saban's age against him in recruiting. And the story goes on to say, I think this is on SEC Country, I believe. Yeah, I think it was, yeah. He said, none of the recruits, do you have that quote, Brendan? None of the recruits wanted to name the school on the record, but multiple said the two schools most frequently making the claims are coached by former Saban assistants in the SEC. Interestingly, in-state rival Auburn was not mentioned as trying to use Saban's age against him. Okay, I'm going to ask you to help me. This is a whodunit, all right? Here they are. Obviously, Kirby Smart. Jeremy Pruitt at Tennessee. Jimbo Fisher at Texas A&M. Will Muschamp at South Carolina. Those are some Saban assistants. So you tell me, what do you think? What do you say you? If you had to pick one in a whodunit, who would you pick?
Probably all the above.
All the above.
Well, and that's not a big secret. When I was with Nick this spring, he told me himself that he was hearing that more than he's ever heard it on the recruiting trail. Recruits asking him, Coach, I hear you're only going to coach another year or two, or maybe just a couple of years. Are you going to be there for my whole 4 years or my 3 years? He said, I'm hearing that more than I've ever heard it. He says, yeah, I know there's other coaches telling him that.
That's just good recruiting. That's just good recruiting as far as they're concerned.
It's the way it works. And
right.
And listen, beating him in anything is difficult on the field in recruiting. So whatever coaches can grasp onto, other rival recruiters, they're going to. I mean, I personally don't think Nick's close to retiring. I think he'll coach another 5 years at least. And Spurrier, I mean, I talked to Steve about this. Steve talked to Nick. He thinks he'll go into his 70s easily. But when you look at the way Nick's cleaned up on the recruiting trail and on the field, I mean, you got to grasp at something. And I think, you know, and not just guys that coach under him, but anybody he's recruiting again. I mean, if you're out on the recruiting trail going up against Nick right now, what would you use? I mean, what else could you use?
Everything I could possibly think of. Everything.
He puts tons of kids in the NFL. They win championships. His kids all seem to come out better on the other end after they've been in the program. So, they've won a lot. They've won a lot. His kids go to the pros. But if you go there, is he still going to be your coach 3 or 4 years from now?
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and name it. All right, I'm going to say I think Jimbo Fisher was the culprit. I'm guessing here if I was doing this. And I'd say there were numerous assistant coaches who did it. All right. I think a lot of the assistant coaches, and they'll use whatever they got. And certainly Nick Saban, who's 66, right? Will be 67 this fall. And Steve Spurrier began to hear it about this time at South Carolina. He had some of his best years, but then suddenly when he got near 70, the word was out there, Spurrier's too old. When you lose and you're old, people think you're incompetent. It's different when you're 50 and you lose than it is when you're 70 and you lose. It's just the way our society thinks, right?
Yeah, well, it is, but don't you like the fact, if you look at the SEC, and not just the SEC, but Clemson too, I mean, as a coach, you love, especially at the quarterback position, when you have really good players, proven players, and you're able to go recruit a highly recruited player who's not afraid of competition. Look at Tua Tagovailoa. He comes to Alabama knowing that Jalen Hurts, as a freshman, had led Alabama to the national championship game, but he wasn't scared. Same way with Justin Fields at Georgia. You know, here's Jake Fromm as a freshman. Trevor Lawrence at Clemson, same way. Kelly Bryant leads Clemson into the playoff last year. Those guys aren't scared away by competition. That's the kind of guys, if you're Dabo Swinney, if you're Nick Saban, if you're Kirby Smart, especially at that position, at the quarterback position, those are the kind of guys you want to coach. Those are the guys you want on your team and to be the leaders of your football team.
Final thing from Chris Lowe. Thanks for your time, Chris. Let's talk about attendance in spring games, okay? And there's some, we know they're probably falling baloney figures to some degree, but I will say that you go by something, the announced figure. Like some people are accusing Florida State of actually using the concert they had as part of what their attendance figures were. I don't know. I mean, everybody uses what they want to, but the deal is that there were some impressive numbers thrown around. If you consider Nebraska 86,818, Georgia 82,184, Alabama 74,732, Penn State 71,000, Tennessee 65,000 was interesting. Florida State 60, right at 61, Clemson 55, and Florida 53-15. So, does that tell you anything? And so what?
Well, I mean, spring football games typically are a chance for a lot of fans. You don't get to go to games during the season to come.
Yeah.
So many of them are free. It's easier to get.
Right.
You don't have to scramble to get tickets. You don't have to pay seat license. So you see families and people from around the state, those schools that come. So I don't put a lot of stock in, because you're right. I mean, I went to the Tennessee spring game Saturday. They announced 65,000. There weren't 65,000 people in the stands. There might have been 40 or 45.
Mm-hmm.
Typically these these are estimates and not actual hard attendance figures. So the SEC has traditionally made spring games more of an event than the rest of the country. But you can look around the country and see whether there are new coaches, where hope springs eternal, pardon the pun, like at Nebraska. You got Scott Frost back there. So, yeah, Georgia's coming off a national championship game appearance. It's pretty easy to look around and see where there's there's a freshness, and people are going to turn out for games. Even at Tennessee, even though Jeremy Pruitt sort of didn't scold the fans, but he says, listen, we had whatever it was, 60, but what do we want to be? It's like our football team.
Mm-hmm.
We want to be the best at everything we do, and that means fans, administration, players, boosters, everybody. So right. I think I think spring football numbers typically, buddy, for the most part, with a few exceptions, aren't that big a deal.
You can read him on ESPN. You can also see him online. You can see him on the ESPN. You see him on Paul Feinbaum occasionally. Always a pleasure to speak to my friend, a guy who still knows how to bring it as a reporter. Chris Lowe of ESPN. Thank you, Chris.
Buddy, it's good to be with you, man. Take care.
Pleasure. Okay, there's all that now. I want to do a little break here. We're going to do Daniel Hightower now, and we'll come back and we'll read your messages. We'll comment on a few things, and got a little ways to go here yet. Another half hour on Martin and Martin in the morning. Stay tuned.
I'm not really sold on that whole Martin and Martin.
Well, you named it.
I said maybe.
Oh, okay. Well, I never know when you say maybe or you say yes. So let the public decide.
No one ever plans a car accident. Having a plan after you've been in one, however, can make a world of difference. Daniel L. Hightower has been fighting for accident victim justice in Ocala and statewide since 1976. After meeting with Dan and his team, you'll know your case matters, that you matter, and that Dan will fight hard to get you just results. If you've been severely injured through no fault of your own by a careless or reckless driver, you need Daniel L. Hightower.
Welcome back to the show without a name. I don't know. Morning show. If you like this is not something we'll do every single morning, but we will do a lot.
We're trying to
find you.
Focus group it.
Mm-hmm. It's like Dan Mullen said.
You're a focus group now.
Dan Mullen said, you didn't choose me, I chose you.
Can you hear us okay? Do we have to? I don't think we
have to. I don't know. Ask me.
You're yelling, I think. I think you just talked to me.
Okay, Brendan.
Let's just have a conversation. That's super creepy. That's just weird.
Okay, fine.
What's up, Coville?
Yeah,
What's up, Coville? Where's your lid? Oh, I can't see you.
All right, let me tell you about the real important thing here. Remember, if you need a bank, I'm telling you, my first-hand experiences, my bank is Center State Bank, centered on community and customer service. It's a Center State Bank Tuesday. Check them out. Go to centerstatebank.com and find out about their core values and why it's the seventh largest bank in the state of Florida, established in 1992 with 82 locations in 30 Florida counties to serve you. Center State Bank, centered on community and customer service. Okay, a couple of things. Bubba's teaching at the fire college today, right? What he said?
You know, you and Bubba have this special friendship that I don't really know much about, so why don't you call Bubba?
You were on, he's teaching. He can't take a call.
I can't tell you and Bubba, you guys like...
You were on the message I sent, and you responded to it.
You guys wear the same shirts and stuff. It's cool. That's cool. You and Bubba.
Okay.
Bubba's not
here. Let me get to a couple of topics.
Who's here cutting up your sound bites?
Besides being whining.
I am.
The whining department. We don't have any wine, but we got a lot of wine.
I'm going to have to start day drinking to hang out with you.
Yeah, right. I don't think so. A lot of interest in Jalen Jones. Everybody's interested in the players that you don't have. Bubba and I have this running conversation, and I don't mean this to disparage Bubba. Okay,
yes,
I love Bubba. I love Bubba.
You do,
and it's over the quarterbacks. Okay, one thing we don't want is contention, because that's what we're doing this show to get away from in politics. No contention. We can disagree. We can even argue. That's fine. But when it gets to a certain point, I'm out. But we're good. We're good, and Bubba and I have a difference of opinion, which is healthy.
You do?
Good morning to Rebecca. Good morning to Eric Cruz, Jennifer Lay, and Brent English. Brent English is a funny dude, by the way. So yeah,
you know, Brent. By the way, about your PB&J comment, I commented the other day. I'm just looking out for the health of the other children. You know, who might be peanut allergied. That's all. Just concerned about the children. Okay, Brent? All right? Just a little comment we had yesterday. I love you, Brent.
So I got special things with Bubba. You got special things with Brent. There you go. So talking that language.
I'm looking out for the children.
Anyway, all right, so you're on agenda. I want to get back to the program today.
Oh, thanks.
I would like for you folks to give me your thoughts on this. It's not football. It's not Gators. It's a subject I have to bring up today because I think it's fairly important. It's about an American icon who's in and out of trouble all the time. Someone that I have personally, I wouldn't say campaign. I've said he ought to be in the Hall of Fame by now. But here's what's troubling about Pete Rose, okay? It's a different subject, but listen to this. Former Cincinnati Reds player and manager Pete Rose is reportedly still married to his second wife, Carol Rose, and dealing with debt issues. TMZ Sports reported the news Monday, noting Rice filed for divorce from Carol in 2011, but it's not finalized. The story said Carol filed a new divorce document asking the judge to force Rose to reveal his financial situation to facilitate a settlement of final divorce, and here it is. According to TMZ, the court documents allege Rose is making more than $100 million a year annually through autographs, but is facing, quote, significant debt with casinos and the IRS.
Because he's a gambler.
He got kicked out of baseball and banned from the Hall of Fame. It's a whole subject, I know, that we can talk about another time. I just think this is one of the temptations of fame. You think you're invincible. You can beat everybody and everything.
Well, clearly, he should have gotten help for his gambling issues a long time ago.
And that's why I brought it up. It's really kind of germane to athletes.
It's a very simple subject for me. He has an addiction that he can't get over, and he never got treatment or whatever he did. It didn't work, and he continues to do the one thing that's been destructive in his whole life, which is gamble.
And one of the things you have to be
issue.
Right. One of the things we have to be careful, and I'm guilty as charged by this too, is that we in the sports media business and you as fans, we lionize these people. We aggrandize. We make them bigger than life. We make them heroes, and they have feet of clay. We find out later. What do we find? Time after time, they're domestic violence. They have domestic violence. They have an addiction of alcohol or drugs.
They're a mass murderer.
Again, one of our own went to jail just recently over a business dealing, and that's a different situation, I think, with him. But
one of our own was a mass murderer, potentially.
He was a murderer. There's no question about that.
Potentially mass murderer.
So the question you have, it's hard, especially when we want to love all Gators, and sometimes some of them just aren't lovable, and they're humans. And listen, every one of us have done things either we're ashamed of or wish we hadn't done, right? Am I right about that?
Yes.
But
many.
Some got away with it and some didn't, okay? I know that you get judged in the end on your life by a higher power. But I can tell you right now, I sympathize with everybody who has a daily struggle in what they do, whether it's food, booze, gambling, domestic violence. It's not something easily dismissed. And I'm not going to demonize the ones who have been aggrandized or lionized. That's the opposite, okay? A lot of eyes in there, right? So Pete Rose.
Preach, brother.
I hope maybe Robert Coville says.
I want to help David get off the lions.
Robert Coville said.
I want to help Gilligan get off the island.
Robert Coville said, gambling issues aside, he was one of the greatest to play the game. His gambling still plagues him, and that's too bad. I agree with you, Robert. Richie Robinson says, well put, buddy, thank you. Richie Robinson says, that's an addiction, period. Pray for his well-being. And so there you go. That's how the people that get a Nation Kingdom. One of the things I love about the Kingdom, and by the way, just to clarify, Brendan.
Can you say goodnight to Roger Burns because he's going to bed in Nimbo, China, just before you say that?
Go ahead.
Good night, Roger.
Night, Roger. Sleep well.
Roger, sleep well.
Roger's going to be here soon.
I feel like we need to play him like his own little side sleep music in the future.
Yeah, you have another little private relationship there I don't know about. So there you go. She's talking about private relationships.
Wow.
Anyway, so what I love about the Kingdom is that they are ready. Yeah, Brent's buddy with the sermon in the morning. I think I like the fact that our group, we're kind of all newbies to each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
I hope they don't find out about all my scarlet sins because I got them. Right. And the thing about it is they would love me anyway.
Right.
And I would love them anyway, no matter what. I know it sounds crazy, but in a sense, you're the one who started this.
Yeah.
When you said in the initial broadcast it got 100 jillion hits during the coaching change.
100
Yeah, you said, I'm tired of the division and all this stuff in the Gator Nation. Let's create one sovereign Gator Nation. Okay? Now, it sounds like a bit of a homer deal. Like, oh, yeah, right. Okay,
I am not a homer.
Yeah, right. There you are. It says, look, what's he wearing? Homer. There you go. So, yeah, you're right, Robert. We all have skeletons. So, Roger says, staying till the end. So, don't wish him good night.
Probably because I'm on today.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
So
what do you got to offer today? Anything? Do you comment anything?
The entire broadcast.
Well, let's hear it.
All of it.
Let's hear it.
It's your what? I've been.
Has there been anything so far at all that you're mildly interested in?
No, not really.
Okay, there you go.
Well, I liked your guest,
Chris Lowe,
Mark Long.
Keep saying Mark Long. Wade Boggs. You just say Wade Boggs.
Wade Boggs.
You have to tell the story.
See, that was the thing between you and I.
Yeah, no, Ted Casey and you. Well, you got to tell the Wade Boggs story.
I don't remember it.
Yes, you do.
I really don't remember.
Do I have to tell you all the stories? We all climbed in a car and drove to Knoxville, Tennessee.
It was so long.
Franz Beard, John Federer, Tim Casey, you and me in one car, out of our minds. Go up to the cover of the game, right?
Yes.
You were driving as usual.
As usual.
Thank
God, because that was the safest bet.
Yeah, right. It was safe when you made a U-turn and busted the tire open. That was really
only because we were
calculating. Sure, yeah.
This was the early days.
That's how safe it was. But you started something with trivia questions or whatever, and the answer to the answer to every question was Wade Boggs.
My answer, because
I
don't
said
know anything about
your
trivia.
answer was Wade Boggs to everything. Well, it caught on, and then Tim Casey got involved. So I saw Tim Casey 2 weeks ago at World of Beer, which, by the way, tomorrow, Tim, show up, buddy. Tomorrow at 6 o'clock. I said Wade Boggs, and immediately he knew what we're talking about because it's crazy stuff. All right? Just a little inside joke there, okay?
All right. Thanks for sharing, buddy.
Yeah, Michael Wright, Peter Clay is a very true statement. No question about it. Richie says tickets and graphics. Richie, buddy, you've been working hard. You've been working too hard. Richie's been home, and Richie's been working, and he's got his lady working. By the way, lady is the brains of that outfit, just so you know. Yes. And they come up with these four. Your good buddy. Your good buddy, by the way, loves you. I don't know why, but he does. These 4 logos. I voted on mine last night.
I told you guys I wasn't involved in that.
Well, he asked that you do, so I did it. So.
You have whatever vote you have. That's my vote. We stand.
Well, I want to say thank you to Laney for doing all the hard work.
Yes, thank you. I got the ball sort of rolling with that, but then
That's you. You always do it and you disappear. That's your act.
Because I have enough to do.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I should spend time on decals and T-shirts when you need an entire broadcast. That's what I should.
Okay. Anyway, that's the story there. Now I wanted to be able to tell the folks.
Do you pay for air conditioning there? Because it's Florida. It's hot.
You told me to turn it off because of the noise.
I didn't say turn it into a sauna.
See, you're never happy.
Well, who's happy when you're in a hot room in Florida?
Don't tell me to turn it off.
It's not even noon. I can't even have a beer yet.
Here's a question for you. I got a trivia question last week.
Mom!
I never got before, Mom.
Get some coffee in here.
She's not here. So here's the trivia question. Tomorrow, you need to be speaking to Brady. Brady's the one.
Why do I need to talk to Brady?
Because Brady's busting your chops and you're not responding.
I talked to Brady about it. We already had a conversation. No, we didn't. And I just talked to him on there. What? Joni, I have no coffee in here.
Well, what's that problem? Is that my fault?
Tell him to kiss your butt.
Kiss my royal patootie.
There you go.
Royal patootie.
That's it.
Royal patootie.
All right. We're on the air, folks. Please be nice.
You know how I like it with the little cream.
Of course. Here, just
now you're in. Now you're jumping in on the whole deal.
I'm actually hosting the show, Brent. Can
I see the phone?
Okay. I got to go.
Where do you have to go? Hey,
I'm
Rebecca.
trying to read this. No. Go ahead and talk to Rebecca.
All right, Rebecca, you're on the air.
See how hard this is to do a show.
Rebecca, you're on the air.
Crazy.
Rebecca Martin, all the way from Reading, Pennsylvania. Rebecca,
Wyomissing.
How's the weather?
Oh, jeez, God. Okay.
Could you turn down your radio, ma'am? Ma'am, could you turn your radio
down?
Totally
turned down. I am watching you two, and I'm like, you need an intervention. Something needs to happen here. Like,
could you turn your radio down, ma'am? Thank you.
I did turn it down.
Okay, thank you. When are you coming to this party that you're throwing?
I'm gonna have an intervention. Dad's grounded. I'm putting you in timeout. That's enough. You both. I'm cutting you both off.
When are you going to be here?
Can you come right now?
On the phone, Rebecca.
I am going to be on cutting. I have a few other things to handle in Wyomissing, Pennsylvania. I have a few other responsibilities and a job. And once I get those things wrapped up and I finish the laundry and take the dog and dig all those things, I'm getting on a plane and I'm coming to beat both of your butts. I'll be there Thursday evening.
By the way, the name Vance Watson.
You don't have to turn that towards it. Just leave it all turned.
Stop it. Vance Watson just said, did he really just call his mom?
Yes, I did.
I cannot. I'm like,
we call them by Joni and Buddy around here. Okay?
That's a good question, Vance.
Back 25 years.
He's old enough to do it by himself.
Where my girls at? Where my girls at in GNK? Come on.
She says,
yeah, there is going to be the ladies of the GNK.
Yeah, the ladies of the GNK we're gonna come and hog tie you and take you out back and show you what for. That's what's gonna happen.
What
Enough
for?
of this crap. Go get your own
that?
coffee.
We're gonna tell you what for. You hear that, Coville?
You're getting a lot of heat for your mom comment. A lot of heat.
I'm not getting any heat at all.
Yeah?
Thanks, Mom.
Start reading it.
Yeah.
Jennifer's obviously working.
Whatever. I have a room here. Just because I have a room here with all my pennants up and all my posters from high school. Is that weird? I don't know.
We've lost complete control of the show.
No,
complete.
I can't.
I can't. Rebecca?
Well, I will say this. I really like the slot. I like this time.
Do you like
the time frame.
Well,
I do. I like
we
this
only have
10:30.
17 people on. I wish they'd tell their friends.
Well, you didn't announce
it.
Well,
I've been sharing it because it's a new time. I shared it yesterday, and I've been telling people because this is like a good time. People are at work. They're hitting that mid-morning, like, oh, God, can I make it to lunch? They can pop in their headphones.
They all wish they had a mom that would get them coffee right now.
You're busted there.
Oh, my God, would you stop that?
They did. Just because.
Seriously. You are such the baby of the family.
Bubba says hello, Rebecca.
I am. Buddy got on my mom call, and he's like, oh, yeah, by the way, you give me a cup, too?
Oh, for God.
If you wouldn't trap me in the sauna in the back room and turn the air off, I mean...
I can't. I did see someone said that Brendan is salty in the morning. I think that's
well. I did a late night dilly for God's sakes.
I saw. Listen, I've been tuning in. I'm doing my part.
I'll see you all later.
All right. I'll talk to you soon, sis. Love you.
Okay. Love you.
Bye, Becca. Love you.
Love you, Dad. Bye.
You're just coming.
Thanks.
Of course,
John.
this is. He's really getting busted by people online for hollering mom. By the way, just so you know, mom. Yeah. Okay. Vance Watson says my money is on the women.
Yeah, well, the women of the women of the GNK is stronger than you think.
Robert Coville says Rebecca coming in like a wrecking ball.
We have once Lori, Rebecca, and Joni get together, it's the trifecta of power.
Brett English says, "Can a brother get a Keurig up in the studio?" He says, "Can a brother get a Keurig up in the studio?"
Bad for the environment. Bad for the environment. The world's going to be full of Keurigs and plastic.
Rich Robinson says, "Oh God, this is classic. Don't ever stop these."
Stay classy, okay?
Stay classy,
Central
San
Florida.
Diego.
Stay classy, Central Florida.
Now, can I get back to this final question? I got this for my peeps. Can you put up? You don't even know how to find it.
What?
I wanted to put up the elite list, but you don't have it.
Well, I can find it.
No, you can't because you don't have an updated one.
What do you mean updated one?
Because Andy Heyman was added to it. I want to get him on there.
I could probably add the name.
Sorry, missed the plane.
Oh, thanks.
We know about it. All that. This in the middle of a show.
So by the way, Lori missed the plane, so we're
suddenly became my problem. Okay.
All
right. Now, back to the people who actually
family drama with.
Notice I get interrupted. There's no respect. Interrupted all the time.
Whatever.
Obviously, his father didn't teach him very well. Whatever. I just want to make a point for those one or two people who might care about Gator football. Just saying.
I'm done. I'm done. Do your thing.
Here's what I want people to think about. We'll answer the question tomorrow at World of Beer. Be thinking about it. What two people replace Steve Spurrier as the Gators' starting quarterback? Hold on. And as the coach at Florida. Let me reverse that.
That's totally easy to understand.
It's not. Yeah. Let me reverse it. I'm going to say it like this. Who replaced Steve Spurrier as quarterback, okay? That's the first question. And then who did Steve Spurrier replace as coach of the Florida? All right? That's what I want to say. Who did Steve Spurrier replace as Gators starting quarterback? Then who did he replace as head coach? That's the question. You don't have to answer it now. We'll do it tomorrow.
So who did Spurrier replace as a quarterback when he's starting? Who did he place as a head coach? Who did he replace both in his? What replacement as head coach?
Two different people
at Florida.
At Florida. All right.
I got a World of Beer logo up if you want to talk about
good.
it.
I do want to talk about that because it's our home in Gainesville. And we've been really, 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 really pleased with that venue. Brendan did a terrific job. Chad Rich, by the way.
Chad Rich did
Hall of Fame.
Chad Rich did.
Hall of Fame. Is it too early to have Hall of Fames?
Is it too early? Where's your other phone? Because I was planning on having people call in. You literally lost the call-in
No doubt you probably did. But anyway, who knows?
Mom!
You have a phone. Oh, jeez. Oh, my gosh. People are getting nauseous about this. Yeah. Eric Cruz says most people love the beer, but here's the thing about it. And now you brought it up. I'm going to tell you about World of Beer. World of Beer is more than just a place to go drink beer, although that's okay too. World of Beer has been voted twice the top pub and restaurant. I don't know.
That's not the phone.
Okay. Am I interrupting something?
Just trying to find your phone that you apparently lost.
Okay. So the deal is World of Beer has been voted the top pub, bar / in Gainesville 2 consecutive years. All right? There's a reason. Now, if you had never been there, and I had never been there before we started doing this show.
I had been there.
Yeah, you had
that
been there.
particular one.
Yeah, not that particular one?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That's where we go for Halloween every year before we go. Halloween.
Nice neighborhood, I'll say that.
Yeah, very nice neighborhood.
So, what this is a Gator-friendly bar, obviously, and it's not just a bar. We do this show every Wednesday night. Brady Ackerman, who busts Brendan's chops all the time. Last night busted your chops on Late Night Dilly Dilly because you just complained about my wine.
I'll get my mom on it.
Yeah, right. Get your mom on.
Everyone who knows Joni's afraid.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you can all talk all you want. Joni.
So anyway, Brady and I do the show every Wednesday there, okay? We started early with a little trivia question. Come on by, have a beer, meet the folks, say hi, support Kerry, who's doing a great job there for us. This is our home away from home. You're right. Robert Kubo says kid-friendly as well.
Yeah.
Stella's been there. So
yeah, they have that cool little playground across the way, too.
Yeah.
I wanted to get it like a GNK kid thing. So, we could do,
talk to Kerry.
We could get people, if you want to bring your kids, and then we could kind of, I don't know, figure out a way we watch them and then drink beer at the same time. But it's kind of across the way.
Well, anyway, World of Beer is located right there about 3 miles west of I-75. If you don't know, just go out. It's not quite 3. And you'll see West End Golf Course on the right. You've passed it if you go too far. On the left, there's a town center, like a mall. And you turn in there and go around to the back. And World of Beer is there. They have really good food. Ask Steve Flatman. He had too much beer there recently.
Why? What happened? Did Flatman get drunk?
I'm just saying. He said he had too much beer.
Well, I wouldn't say that about you, Steve.
Okay.
I would never.
He said he did. So there you go.
Maybe that's why I'm a little salty.
Anyway,
today.
World
I had
of Beer.
Too much wine last night.
Tioga Gainesville voted Gainesville's best bar and pub 2 straight years. World of Beer is not just about the beer, but it could be.
It's about the pretzels.
All right, we got on time here.
It's the internet. We have as much time as we want. We can do whatever we want.
I got things to do today, you know.
What?
Get ready for my party, for one thing.
Why? Rebecca did all that.
Oh, she bought my clothes, got my haircut. Oh, good. Okay.
You're getting a haircut? Hey, can we go get pedicures today?
Yeah, we do that.
You want to? If we get pedicures, I promise we'll Facebook Live.
Oh, man. People are going to laugh at us now.
Yeah, I want to go get pedicures today because I have a bad toe.
Yes, you do.
2 of them.
Cobell says the French tips are good. All right, so this is how we're going to roll here. As soon as the producer makes up his mind when we're doing this show, because he's changed everything.
I'm trying to figure out.
He's a total disruptor. He turned everything upside down, changed the times. So I'm waiting for him to tell me where we're going to do this show. I don't know. I'm just the host. I don't know.
I want to be transparent. Okay. This showtime is better for me because my kids.
Sure, it's about you.
My 5-year-old's in school at this time of day, so it's easier. 6 o'clock sucks for me because I like to cook, so I cook dinner. I get it ready. My wife's studying and she's in school and at work and all sorts of crazy. So anyway, it's a good time for me in the morning. So that's why I push for the morning shows. Now, I know that hurts our late night dilly dilly. So I'm willing to come in once a week.
Just because I've done 3 shows in 28 hours, why would that matter?
I'm willing to come in Monday nights. Now, if you want to do a morning show on Monday, that's fine. I thought we could do like a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
We did do a morning show
in the summer, and you guys could do a late night dilly dilly on Tuesday and Friday, and then you've got the World of Beer on Wednesday. That's where I'm kind of coming from right now. I don't know what the kingdom thinks. I don't know what your fan base thinks. I don't know. So that's it.
You know Tom Spence.
I've heard his name.
You
yes.
have a little bit of Tom Spence disease here.
You need to stay in your lane right now.
You know what it is?
What is that?
It's all about me on the show. Not about the listeners or viewers. It's about me and my schedule. About me and my time. Not about the host.
It's fine.
Look, it's about you.
It's fine. If you want to be a crappy grandfather, that's on you. That's cool. I'm done with
Colville thinks you're funny. I don't know why. Better than reality TV, says John Enrico. LOL.
You know, John Enrico, you could be a movie star.
Vance Watson says this is a good time. Are you in Colorado, Vance? Go ahead.
I was talking to Enrico. He could be in like an episode of like Miami Vice. He has that face. You got like that badass.
I don't know if that's a good compliment or not.
Why? He's got
that face.
He's got like a character. He's like could be a character in a show.
Who else could be on a show? What show could Bubba be in?
I know, man. You and Bubba. I don't know.
My friend.
Apparently, you guys are best friends in school.
Brunch with Buddy and Brendan.
Seems like you're a little closer to Bubba than you are to me.
Well, the show that nobody's named so far, nobody knows what it is. Martin and Martin.
Why don't you ask Bubba? Maybe he'll tell you.
Maybe.
Do you think if I worked out with Bubba, I'd get his arms?
No.
If I just...
No.
We worked out in that gym?
Bubba's an important guy. Bubba teaches at Fire College. And he's a distinguished guy. By the way, he puts on a great tailgate. We know that. Apparently. So what are the plans? You tell me, Brown Prince. What are the plans for the show and the summer?
I just told you.
Summer.
What about the summer?
I want to know what you think we're going to be doing this summer.
Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday morning shows when I can.
How can I do a morning show, Our Town, and all that?
I don't know. That's on you.
I thought you were the producer.
Well, I am the producer, but I'm going to try to do stuff as much as we can do, and as much as the money pays me.
Oh yeah,
because I have to pay the mortgage.
You expect you get paid for this?
Well, what are you going to do next week? Oh, see, you're going to do it on the air. See this? $5. I'm going to Boston.
$2.
I'm going to Boston for a week.
That's part of your Boston trip.
I'm going to Boston for a week.
You earned it.
I'm going to work. I've earned it.
I said you earned the money.
Oh, show me the money.
Job well done. Well, I just showed it to you.
Thank you.
Don't shake my hand. You're just an employee. But anyway, shake my hand. Anyway.
No, I'm done. That comment hurt. It didn't cut me deep.
Yeah.
It did.
John Enrico says, thank you. He must have liked your comment about the face. I don't know.
I don't even give a shit anymore.
What?
Well, I'm sorry.
What kind of language
it's
is
the internet.
Oh.
You can say those things. It's an adult show. The kids are in school.
Anyway, so... Anyway, I want to thank our sponsors again. By the way, this is Center State Bank.
Hold on.
Tuesday.
I like to make their logo big when we do this.
And Center State, I've told you about. I always like to mention.
I really do like Center State Bank, by the way. I do. I was in there the other day, and I'm about to go make their commercial. And Tom Ingram, by the way, who I think is a really great dude. If anything he's involved in, first of all, business-wise, I'm down because he's one of the business savviest guys I know. And second of all, I really like... See how I did that? It's nice.
Yeah.
What do you mean? You don't like how I did that?
No, I just wonder what happened. The whole screaming at blank.
No, it's not. It just I made the Center State Bank
go ahead.
logo
Say your
big,
thing. Say your thing.
Centered on community and customer service.
Say out. Go ahead to the spot.
I think it's always been... That building's always been a place where that's been the foundation.
It's your bank, too, by the way.
Yeah, it's a great bank.
Yeah.
So, anyway. Just
banks. I've never been good on banks, and banks never been good on me. Well, this is an exception, and I would say that whether they were sponsors or not. Tom knows that. I've always supported that bank, and they've supported me.
We'll make you a commercial soon so you can see more.
Okay. You said Tom Ingram was a jerk earlier. Now you're saying something different on the air.
Well, because I'm on the air.
Oh,
Why would I say that on the air?
I don't know.
That'd be super weird and uncomfortable.
So here's what I want to get to before we close.
Oh, really? You have something to say?
We're going to be doing this show off and on. Some people like the irregular times, as somebody said last night, like the irregular, keep it real, keep it interesting. And as we project, this is what, April 25th or whatever this is, whatever it is, and then we go forward, May is going to slow down a lot more. When you get into May and June, you get into the summer season type thing because even though it's not summer, the topics slow down. This is a big news story of some kind. And so we're going to come up with things for you to talk about.
Can we get a Bluetooth speaker so we can play some music in here?
I had one sitting for 6 months up there, agreement.
Where is it now?
It's in the box in there where all the other stuff is.
Well, I think we need some. I think we need to get some computer music going. We need some more. We need maybe some light jazz in the morning. I don't know. Maybe a new open.
Talk to the producer. Whatever you say.
Should we run a poll that asks people what they think about the morning show? And
No.
see if
They'll vote with they'll either watch it or they won't. If they don't, we'll go do something else. But anyway, for those people who are expecting 6 o'clock shows and turn it on and don't always see them, I apologize. There will be a show up there for you to see. It just won't be live all the time. So that's the way things roll. I wanted to say, I think our next big thing might be SEC Media Days. Bubba showed an interest in going. We're going to go up there, roll up there, and see our buddy Paul Feinbaum.
What about my friend and Bubba's friend with the big, huge tour bus?
I don't think we need that. It's too much. It's too expensive. That's $5. Not
divided by 12 or 14.
Yeah, well, what 10, are they going to do at Media Days? There's nothing. You've been there. There's not that much to do. Just, if you're not doing a broadcast.
$5.
That's not 500. It's $5.
I know. I'm aware. $5. That means like if we went with 10 people, we could get a GoFundMe because we could turn the whole bus into Command Central.
Where's Bubba?
For Media Days.
Where's Bubba?
I'm serious now. I can get the bus. Bubba can read my mind. Yep. Dude, let's blow this thing up, Budro. Hey, Budro.
I'm just saying.
Let's blow it up.
Let's
get
saying.
a big,
probably not going to happen.
Tour bus and go to Hotlanta.
I have to get credentials for me and you.
I'll buy the varsity. If that's what you're worried
right,
about.
Sure you will.
I will get you an extra varsity with children.
Yeah. Okay.
I will. And if you're lucky, we'll go to Cheetahs. That will never... That's a joke.
It's like this all the time, folks. It's nonstop. It's nonstop. Bubba says, I'm teaching this morning.
Yeah.
Military, listen to this. Military Special Ops on USA. There, look at this dude. I don't know if
Put in a good word for me,
I don't know
Bubba.
if we're allowed to show those pictures.
That's pretty cool. Can I see that?
I don't think they're allowed to.
Can we show those, Bubba?
Bubba, can we show these pictures?
5K to
cool.
MSU. 5K to Mississippi State.
What?
Yeah, join the party, people. Yeah, only 5,000.
Yeah, no, I know for Mississippi State. You're talking about going to SEC Media Days.
I'm talking about going to SEC Media Days, Bubba. I'm talking about going to the game. I'm talking about going to Atlanta.
That's just a two-person deal because there's nothing for them to see. We'll be broadcasting. Hopefully, if we get internet, that's all going to be decided, too. He's got Wi-Fi on that bus, which is helpful, but that's a lot of money. That's an expensive trip. Someone has to underwrite it. We can't pay. Well, we can't do it by ourselves. It's a lot of money.
There's got to be somebody with some dough out there. We'll put a bunch of
let's be honest. Out. What is SEC Media Days? What value does it bring to us?
I got to ride in the elevator.
Yeah,
with
let's go.
An evil one. What's his nickname? Does he have a
just Nick
like
Saban?
Chucky or something? Now?
No,
he's just Nick Saban.
Chucky was somebody else.
I know, but does he have like a an evil doppelganger? I'm saying.
Not that I know of.
See you, Joan.
Hi.
Go ahead, Joan. You better check with your son because he might need something. He can't function without you. So.
It's a load of you know what, Joan.
Okay.
I can count on you, and everyone's afraid of you, and you're on my side. So there you go.
Well,
have a good day.
I won't be long. I'm having lunch with Susan, and I'll be back.
All right.
All right. Here's what's going on. Richie has been at it again. He's going to buy season tickets. Okay.
What?
You're not following. They have a whole group of people who are buying tickets together as
part
of the kingdom. He's got the map out. Jennifer says she's going to buy 2. They're all going to buy tickets, okay?
I have tickets.
Where are you, Scott Strickland, when the Gator Nation Kingdom is there supporting this program with their money, paying money for the tent, buying all these seats? We are not just talking about it. We are doing it, okay? So, yeah, that's interesting. Richie says that's 8 tickets so far.
You guys are ballers, man. I work for the Buddy Martin Show. I literally don't,
Got a big check there. Write it out.
I know. I'm going to write it out. Ride or die.
Yeah. All right, so what do we have to wrap on today? We like Chris Lowe.
Yeah.
I'm toying with the idea of making that a podcast on Chris Lowe, just so people who missed it might want to come in and might check it. We'll see. We're open to ideas. By the way, I want to say something. I sent the email out this morning it came back 3 times. came back 3 times, to the person who won the Pack the Swamp contest. And his name is Mark. I don't know the whole name. It's like Mark Gator P or something at Gmail. I sent a notification, say, you're the winner. You're going to get the prizes. That will include books, include T-shirts, include $25 gift certificate at World of Beer, etc. But I have to get a hold of him. He has not answered me so far.
So we got to go back into the kitty.
Well, we'll find out by tomorrow. Tomorrow at noon.
You got to set a timeline.
I did. I said I have to know by noon
Then
tomorrow.
you got to auction it off to the elite.
No, it's a draw again.
Oh, draw again. Yeah.
If that means you throw them away. I don't know.
I mean, who the hell's got those things still? Nobody. I don't have
No, what?
You still have your tickets?
For what?
The drawing.
No, you don't have to have them. They're all in the bowl. They're all in the beer jug at World of Beer.
Oh.
So, anyway, we'll find a way. But we're expecting to hear from him tomorrow. Also, the guy you busted me on yesterday about somebody who won something.
Who?
I think it's Jeff Cole.
Yeah.
He won a book.
He busted himself.
I said, you got to send me your email.
1,000th
You got to send me your address, and I will send you the book. Okay? We're going to deliver what we say we're going to deliver. We're not going to sit here and promise things and disappear. What do you mean?
Well, we talk about it too much.
You don't have to worry about it because you're not involved. Because you have no commitment.
About the show.
I'm the one that's
move along.
Oh, you move along, Mom.
Mom, get that soapbox.
Oh boy,
can you get a soapbox?
I don't know.
It's next to the Emmy.
I think we're over. I think we're done.
Hey, Bubba says it's less to go to Atlanta. By the way, you imagine that?
Bubba, go figure it out, bub. It's in May. It's in June. I have to get the date. And remember, it's not like you're going to be allowed to go in and hear the interviews.
I would.
Yeah, but you are a credentialed media person who's already been there. Bubba won't be credentialed. That's the problem.
Yeah, but they can go and sample some of those delicious micro brews that they have.
No, if we
have the
bus, they can actually be a part of the broadcast there. But
we can broadcast.
But they can't be. They can be in the lobby. But they can't be in the media rooms.
I would not give it. I would think they may even get their own. Bubba's pretty resourceful.
You can't get a media credential there.
I can.
Because you're in the computer.
I'm under your name.
You went 10 years ago on Buddy Martin Media.
That's true. It's good to be the prince.
Anyway, we want to do it right. All right, are we done here?
I don't know. Are you done?
Should I apologize for the show today?
Yeah, you probably should. It sucked. You
should
call Center State and say you're sorry.
I gave them plenty of good poke. By the way, they got lots of it last night. Lots of love last night. And we had a lot of people. Do you look at the numbers? I'm going to brag about it. We had lots of people.
I'm not just saying, but I'm saying.
Yeah, that's good. Good job by you. That'll wrap it up. Thanks to Chris Law, our special guest. Thanks to our sponsors once again. So we'll take back Tuesday. Also, we got World of Beer tomorrow. We've got the Okada Quarterback Club. Thank you, by the way, too. All friends over there. We've got Daniel L. Hightower, lawyer, fighting facts and victim justice since 1976. That pretty much covers most of it, except for Seeding Farms. They were big last night.
They were pretty big.
They were big. They got lots of love last night. So we like giving love. All right, folks. There'll be no 6 o'clock show tonight. Okay? Next time we talk to you will be World of Beer at 6 p.m. on Wednesday. No morning show tomorrow. When's the next morning show?
Thursday.
Okay. He says Thursday. I guess I'll be here. Have a good day. Have a good week, folks. Buddy Martin, Brendan Martin. The show is unnamed. Give us a name.
It's not unnamed. I liked Martin and Martin in the morning.
You just say you didn't know about it.
Well, because I don't know if anyone even likes this show. You surely did a crappy job today.
I'm beginning to wonder if I even like it.
I'm not even like it coming in. There's no alcohol, so I can't deal with it.
Well, that's a challenge for you.